Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Fans YouTube channel. Let's talk SmackDown. Now, SmackDown kicked off with an absolutely awful segment from Brock Lesnar. Now, obviously, when we hear Brock Lesnar is coming out by himself, we know he's not the greatest on the mic as a solo, so something had to interrupt that. And it wasn't John Cena, because John Cena ain't coming to SmackDown no more. And I feel like if Brock knew that, that would be helpful, because Brock came here saying, I'm looking for John Cena. Well, he's not going to be there, because he's told you where he's going to be. He's told the whole world where he's going to be and when. And last week was supposed to be his last week on SmackDown, which you were there for. So that was a bit stupid. And R-Truth came out to defend John Cena's honour, and I like that R-Truth did that, to be fair. I love that WWE are carrying on the story. They're not ignoring it, that R-Truth is John Cena's superfan. And I like that R-Truth's going to get involved with anyone who tries to disrespect John Cena. Here's another problem. Brock says, I don't know who you are. Bitch, are you forgetting years ago when R-Truth said he was going to win the Royal Rumble or whatever, and you just laughed at him? Do you remember that? You do know who R-Truth is. You absolutely do. But it is what it is. Brock Lesnar hit him with an F5. Show was over. Whatever. Later on in the night, WWE started on a video package where they'd explained the careers of John Cena and Brock Lesnar, and they said they'd give us part 2 next week. And obviously that's the last week before WrestlePalooza. So I didn't actually mind it. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, video package. We have all this time on SmackDown and we're doing a video package. But it was actually good. So I'll give them credit where credit is due. As for the women's United States title division, now, obviously, last week, Julia beat Michin, and I'm happy to put Julia in a match finally. Now, Julia was backstage with Kiana James, where they kind of talked some shit to B-Fab about Michin, as we know they are friends. And that's when B-Fab said, should beat Julia in a match. And I thought, here we go again. We're getting Julia in a match. This is exactly what I wanted. Look at how well the Women's Intercontinental Championship division is doing. The Women's Intercontinental Championship is the biggest women's title in wrestling right now. So I like the fact that they're doing something with Julia, because this Women's United States Championship compared to the Intercontinental Championship, in the toilet. And the match didn't even happen because it ended in a fight with Michin taking B-Fab's side with a kendo stick after last week, you know, putting her face on the steps and all that. Which, again, I like that it didn't go through the match. I feel like people aren't really behind B-Fab yet, and they aren't really behind Julia yet. So this match would have been a bit of a sleeper for some people. So I'm glad that they made it interesting. And they had an entertaining moment where Michin obviously chased them out of there. So that was interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Thank you for making the championship divisions active. Now, the first match of the show was Sami Zayn defending the United States Championship, because as we know, last week John Cena granted him permission to continue the US Open Challenge. So his first contender, which wasn't, he didn't go to the ring and ask for an open challenge and then we got the entrance music. It was just him talking to him backstage. Which, can we bring it back where Sami Zayn goes in the ring, calls out his challenger, and then the music hits and it's a surprise? I get they're trying to be different and they're trying to announce who it is for the next week, but I didn't like it. Rey Fenix, though, was the first one. It was a bit of a rogue one. I'm guessing the tag team of Rey Fenix and Andrade was short-lived. The match was incredible. Now, there was only 3 matches on this show, but there were 3 incredible matches. But match of the night, it has to go to Sami Zayn, Rey Fenix. It was fantastic. And what do you expect from 2 high flyers, 2 great technicians in the ring? So, Sami Zayn obviously retained. And the referee, can I make a statement? The referee that was in the match for Sami Zayn and Rey Fenix is a regular referee on SmackDown. And I remember the same thing happening last week. His counts are so ridiculous. I know he counts slowly to over-dramatize it and to make those late kickouts not look as late. But at the same time, it is just stupid when it's 1, 2... it makes it look more fake. It genuinely does, and it looks stupid. So can we stop counting slow? That referee's been a referee for time as well. So why has he always done this and I've not even noticed? It's actually annoying. Genuinely. Can we stop it? Please. Thank you. As for, well, as for the new contenders, we know Carmelo Hayes is the contender, potentially for next week. We don't know. But what we do know is The Miz walked up to Nick Aldis asking about, that tag title shot that he wanted. And Nick Aldis said he'd actually spoke to Carmelo Hayes about a title opportunity. Turns out Carmelo Hayes got himself a United States title opportunity and not him and Miz tag team title opportunity, which Miz was mad about. But in all fairness, Carmelo Hayes has been chasing that for a while. That's when The Miz said, I'm trying to take you down the right path. And Carmelo Hayes says, well, he wants, why can't he win the United States Championship and the tag titles with The Miz? And Miz said that was hard to do until Carmelo Hayes pointed out the fact that The Miz himself did it. And if The Miz can do it, and The Miz's mentor and Carmelo Hayes, who's supposed to be the future, Carmelo Hayes can do it, surely, and absolutely can. And I would love that, to be honest. I don't think it's time to take the belt off Sami Zayn yet, obviously, but somewhere down the line, Carmelo Hayes needs to win that United States Championship. But as The Miz went to speak to Nick Aldis, we also had Chelsea Green and Alba Fire, don't know where Piper Niven is, asking about their tag team title opportunity against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They were assuming Charlotte Flair was milking an injury, obviously, after they attacked her knee. Nick Aldis confirms it's a serious injury, but obviously not serious enough to strip titles. But they will be defending on Tuesday against the Culling, which obviously when I made my NXT review, I thought, why didn't they announce that for next week? Is it going to happen in No Mercy? But it turns out it is going to happen next week. We get Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. I say next week, on Tuesday. That's in 3 days. We get Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair versus the Culling. And then the Secret Service will get the winners. That's what I like to see. And as for the tag team titles, we've not seen anything from the Street Profits, but we did get a video package from Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan. Obviously not the tag team champions, but in a faction with the tag team champions, the Wide Six, and they're very smooth talkers, the best smooth talkers. Eric Rowan, the closest friend of Bray Wyatt, and Bo Dallas, the brother of Bray Wyatt, the best two people to carry on his legacy, given that Brody Lee and Bray himself are unfortunately not with us anymore. So they were again just digging into that. Street Profits not getting along. Street Profits maybe potentially breaking up. They were just digging into it. And planting the seeds, which obviously I'm gonna love, to be honest. Street Profits, for me, have got boring in recent years. From being the Street Profits, they were great when they first debuted, when they used to wear red and they had their old theme tune, but since they got serious, I feel like they were better when they weren't serious. Not that they weren't ever serious competitors, but when they were more comedic, when they were more nice guys, should I say. Although they're baby faces, they're not nice guys. They're more serious now, and I feel like it killed them a bit, I can't lie. And people are right. Montez Ford would kill as a solo superstar. So would Angelo Dawkins, but WWE won't do that because the charisma is 10 times on Montez Ford's side. So it is what it is. Despite the fact that Angelo Dawkins is sick in the ring. Absolutely mental. Yes, and then we had another video package from Aleister Black, reflecting on the match from Damian Priest. Yada, 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 saying he's going to combat violence and all this, just prolonging the feud, keeping Aleister Black and Damian Priest busy so they don't get them caught up in someone else's rivalry. Such as Solo Sikoa, who's still going on about the United States Championship. No Jacob Fatu, no Jimmy Uso, no Tonga Loa, no JC Mateo, no Talatanga, just Solo Sikoa in a room by himself, talking about how much the United States title meant to him and how he's still going to get it. Is he going to answer Sami Zayn's open challenge? Is it going to become a prolonged feud where we get a rematch? I don't know, don't care, because I'm sick of the Bloodline storylines. If we're going to do a Bloodline storyline, which we've done for years now, can we at least do a big, massive, fat one where we have Roman, Jade, Jimmy, Solo, Jacob, Tonga, Toma, Tola? Is JC even part of the family? I don't know. The Rock, even though he's not going to be in the ring anymore. Maybe Sami Zayn as well. Can we just get the whole family in like a big match, like a battle royal or like a war games, but like an every man for himself one, That would be interesting to see who the real tribal chief is. That is when I want a proper Bloodline story, when we have a big final battle. That's when it will be sick. And you know what will be even sicker? When Jimmy Uso comes out and wins the whole thing. Anyway. Yes, Solo somewhere down the line is still going to chase that United States title, which, fair enough, I love Solo. So, it is what it is. And now, the only other things left to talk about are the match in the middle and the main event match. Well, the match in the middle was Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill for the women's title, the WWE women's title. And I thought, why is this in the middle of the card? Genuinely slap bang in the middle of the card. There was 3 matches. That was the second one. It was 1 hour into the 2-hour show. Why was that in the middle? I get it. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill are the hottest things in WWE right now, but they are by far not the most boring. They could do a main event themselves and have done many times. Literally a couple of weeks ago, it was Tiffany and Jade against Becky and Nia in the main event. Like, this is the WWE Women's Championship. This is equivalent to Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship on SmackDown, which obviously would never happen. But for Tiffany, for the women's title, it can happen. It's supposed to be equal. It's supposed to be like that. That should have been main event. The fact that it was a title defense, a world title defense. But obviously now I understand why it wasn't. Number one, it ended in a double count out and Nia Jax came and attacked Jade Cargill, which doesn't make sense. They're both going to get counted out and then Nia Jax is going to attack. If Nia Jax is going to attack, make it a disqualification. And again, no more Nia Jax in this feud. I understand. Bianca Belair's injured. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are in the tag division. Secret Herbs are in the tag division. Julia, Michi and B-Fab all in the Women's United States title division. Build up your superstars. If you had built up your superstars over the years correctly, you could have brought people like Natalya, who aren't being used on Monday Night Raw, over to SmackDown, feud for the title. Do something, do some NXT call-ups, because this is not on. You can't have Tiffany Stratton, who's had a 200-day reign now, by the way, who's had about 5 or 6 title matches against Nia Jax. It's getting boring. Even Tiffany Jade is getting boring. They've wrestled 3 times. It's because that's all Tiffany Stratton's done. Poor Tiffany Stratton has had the most boring title reign because there's been 3 women in the division. It's terrible. Can we stop? Let her defend against the lower talent. The lower talent are still in the main roster. They can handle themselves. They're there for a reason. They are just not the best of the best. They can hold their own in a match. They can hold their own in the storyline. And what you know, maybe if you put someone like Candice LeRae or Nikki Cross into the main event spot, they might fucking shine. They might actually blow your socks off. And you might think, oh wow, we should have done this sooner. It's happened many times. You took risks with so many people. LA Knight was a risk. Look at him now. Jey Uso was a risk. Look at him now. Seth Rollins back in 2014 was a risk. Look at him now. Sheamus, when he made his debut, beat John Cena for the WWE title. Look how far he's come. Do you understand? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But again, I still thought it should have been a main event match. Until I seen what happened in the main event. I know the main event was Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. However, that is just a non-title match. A match that we've seen a gazillion times. It could have been in the middle of the show. But obviously it wasn't. Because after the match, after Randy Orton's knee was getting brutally attacked by Drew McIntyre, and Drew played the smart heel game when he got the ref in the way and then claymored Randy and got the win, he went to do the same thing to Randy that he did to Cody. And that's when Cody returned, finally, just casually, put on John Cena's best match of his retirement tour. Not Logan Paul. Logan Paul's a close second, but John Cena, Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Easily John Cena's best match on a retirement tour. Casually put that on. Then on SmackDown, teamed up with John Cena against, I believe, Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And then dipped. And then dipped for like a whole month. And it's crazy because when he came back, you felt the presence. You were like, this is what SmackDown's been missing. I get we've had John Cena. I get we've had Brock Lesnar. I get we've had Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, all these people, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. But it wasn't the same without Cody Rhodes, because although Cody Rhodes has had his time on Raw, SmackDown's his home. I believe it. And that's when he chased Drew McIntyre out there and confirmed that at WrestlePalooza we get Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, I'm assuming, for the title. That adds to the card. I mean, we've got John Cena, Brock Lesnar. We've got Becky and Seth versus AJ and Punk. We've got the Usos versus Braun and Braun. And I believe we'll have something else on there. Oh yeah, we'll have Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky for the Women's World title. And now we have Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. 5-match card. Love that. Love that. It would be perfect if it was like 6 or 7, but 5's good for now. And we've still got another week where there's probably going to be one added last minute. So I'm glad to see Cody back. Apart from the awful Brock segment where they were just repeating, who is Raw Truth. That was a great episode of SmackDown. Although it was 2 hours, it felt like 30 minutes. Like, genuinely, that's how, interested it kept me. So, fair play. Although it was only 3 matches, it felt like a lot more than that. So, that was a great episode of SmackDown. I feel like this week, probably SmackDown was the best show this week, I'll be honest. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.